Good morning. Welcome to the Community for Conscious Living weekly live broadcast. Today is Sunday, March 13th of 2022. The Community for Conscious Living is a community dedicated to personal transformation for universal harmony, healing the planet by making inspired changes in ourselves and in our daily lives to create a sustainable environment and a peaceful world. Today, again, we're going to do the two-part meditation and healing circle. We're going to do the initial part, which is our regular scheduled program. And then we're going to follow that with the prayers for peace and healing for the situation in Ukraine. I will admit for the last few days, I have not watched any news. I don't know what's happened in the last 3 days. So if something catastrophic has gone on, more so than before, I apologize. I'm with the kids for spring break, my sister's grandchildren, and haven't been watching news. And again, I'll also apologize if there's any extra background noise for today. It's very quiet right now, as far as I can tell, so we should be good to go. Our topic for today is on, we just finished the second section, section 2 out of 5 in the book, The Answer is Love, Questions to Explore as we transition into an era of peace. That was the section on gender identity, gender roles, parenting, family, children, relationship. And we're going to talk today about 7 key takeaways from that section. And I want to just say up front, the biggest takeaway is to truly know yourself as a being of divine life energy living in you, through you, expressing and experiencing life through you, loving and learning through you, to recognize that within yourself and within everything that you see and experience before you. And that is going to be the main focus of our meditation today. So let's go ahead and come into our meditation and healing circle. Let's come together sitting side by side, shoulder to shoulder, elbow to elbow, knee to knee, coming together as one and meeting together in our virtual space. And as we come together as one, let's bring all of our focus and attention to face into the center of our circle. Your eyes, your ears, your nose, your mouth, your face, your third eye, your throat, your heart center, your belly. And just take a deep breath and inhale all of your energy into the core of your body. And as you exhale, just let your conscious body drop down and land into your pelvic bowl, into your hips. And just feel your center of gravity in your belly, in the center of your belly. If you imagine like your pelvic bowl is, it is like a bowl, and imagine like an egg sitting on top of that bowl. Right? Because that's our true human shape, is like an egg. So imagine an egg sitting on top of that bowl, and right in the center, with the larger part of that egg, right in the center of that larger part of that egg, right there is your center of gravity. And just let yourself kind of rest into that center of gravity and be like the open cup. As Rumi says, these forms we seem to be are cups floating in an ocean of living consciousness. So imagine yourself as an open cup floating in an ocean of living consciousness. And your center of gravity for maintaining your presence within that cup. The presence of the ocean within your cup is right there in that center. And sitting on top of that center is your vertical core and your beautiful flower of your heart center. So land yourself into that cup centered on that center of gravity, that center point within your pelvic bowl. And on top of that, you can elongate your spine and feel your heart center like a flower coming from that bowl. A flower, the stem coming up from that bowl, and the flower being your heart center. And allow your heart center to be like a breathing portal, breathing in and out through your heart center. And let's call on our source in the name of the one most merciful, ever compassionate. Just let your heart center point toward that focal point of, just imagine your source. And let it focus in on that connection with your source and call directly on your source. We ask you to send your essence of your pure divine light. And just imagine, feel this pure divine light streaming into the center of our circle. And let your heart center tip up slightly, that funnel, and catch within your funnel that stream of pure divine light, and let it stream in through your heart center like the light shining on that flower and the petals of that flower opening up to catch the rays of the sun. And breathe that in. Let your heart center be that breathing portal, and breathe that in through your center into the core of your body, into that stem. And really taking that in all the way through that stem and all the way down into the soil of your being and into your roots. And let your arms be like the leaves that stretch out from the stem. And let them also receive that light into your flower, into your stem, into your leaves, into your roots, into your soil. And take that in. Let it shine on you. And you can let your face be like an extension, like the center of the flower. I have an image of your face being the center of the flower, and your heart being like the petals of the flower that stretch out all the way around the center of the flower. And all of it absorbing in and taking in this light. And being fed and nourished by this light. Just allow yourself to be fed and nourished by this pure divine light. Ya Nur, An-Nur, the pure divine light, the radiant light from your source shining on you. And let that become embodied within you. And as you breathe it all the way into your being, that divine life energy that contains the light of your source, the breath of your source, the light of your source, let it awaken that light inside of you that shines from within, this divine life energy. And as you drink it in from the outside, let it come all the way into the inside, awakening that light within you. Let that light within you meet the light that is streaming in from outside of you. So they become one, and there is no inner and no outer, but only one light. And drink that in. And together let's call on our source in the name of the one most merciful, ever compassionate. We call on you. We ask you to send your vibration of your unconditional love. And let's feel, experience that pure unconditional love streaming into the center of our circle. And again, let your heart center, that funnel at the front of your heart space, let it tip up and let it catch that stream of unconditional love as it streams in, and take that pure unconditional love in through this funnel all the way in. Let it stream into your heart center. And this love is a loving force, an unconditionally loving force. And it is a gentle force, and yet the most strong at the same time. The most powerful, the most strong, and the most gentle. And it is unconditional. We human beings put conditions on love, and our conditions affect whether or not we're able to receive it. But the love itself is unconditional. So even if you notice those blocks and barriers within your heart center that aren't ready to open up to receive the fullness and the gentleness and the power and the strength of the love, just still let them be present with the love, even if they can't open to receive it, because the love is love and loves. It loves unconditionally. So as it loves, it will touch those places that aren't yet ready to open to the love. It will surround them and hold them in love until they will eventually dissolve into the love. Just give them permission and allow them to show up and be present with the love and be surrounded in the love and held in the love, and be patient with those places inside yourself as they rest into the ocean of love. And let that love come all the way in, and invite your heart to feel the love and to feel loved by the love itself. And invite your heart to feel its own love for the love. And again, breathe it all the way in through your heart center, all the way into your vertical core, until there is no inner and no outer, but only one love, the love that is alive at the core of your body, at your life force energy, and the love that streams into your heart, the love that surrounds you and holds you and loves you all the time, unconditionally, ever present and unconditional. And again, let's call on our source in the name of the one most merciful, ever compassionate. We call on you. We ask you to send your vibration of your eternal compassion. And this is the ocean of compassion. So as this ocean of compassion comes into your awareness, feel yourself being held, right? You're invoking it, calling on it, bringing it into your conscious awareness. Let yourself be held, floating in this ocean of eternal compassion. Let yourself be held. Let yourself just rest into, like the cup floating in the ocean of living consciousness. And let your cup float in this ocean. Rest in this ocean. As the poet Rumi says, these cups floating in an ocean of living consciousness, what we are is ocean. Too near to see, though we swim in it and drink it in. Don't be the cup with the dry rim. Allow yourself to float, to sink, to immerse into this ocean, floating in this ocean of living consciousness, this ocean of eternal compassion, filled with love, radiating light, being the true creation that you were created to be. And allow yourself, like you said, We think we are the cups, but what we are is ocean. So invite your consciousness, your awareness to focus on the ocean within you, the ocean within your cup, and invite your identity, your self-identity, to identify with ocean, identify yourself as ocean. As we transition into the era of peace and unconditional love and universal harmony, that is our purpose, universal harmony. As we transition into this era where our entire cosmic existence, our entire planet will be governed by unconditional love and peace in a more conscious way than it has been. We will actually live it and experience it. We identify more with consciousness than we do with cup. We identify more with the ocean than with the cup. So we think we are the cups when we are the ocean. And the cup is just an open container through which the ocean can flow. We release our attachment to the cup and the identity that we have formed based on the shape of our cup, the color of our cup, the thickness of our cup, the material our cup is made of, all of any designs on our cups. We are letting go of our identity of the cup, how we identify ourselves, what it means about our own value and worthiness and who we are, what we are, is not based on the cup. It is based on the ocean of living consciousness that flows through us. So just invite your consciousness, your awareness, to shift to focus on the cup. Letting go of, on the ocean. Letting go of identity of cup. And any ideas of what our society puts on that cup. Right now, our society places a lot of associations. And if you have a cup that looks like this, it means all of these things about you. If you have a cup that acts in this way or moves in this way or is shaped this way or has these colors or these designs, it means these things about you and about where you fit and about what you're worth and about how you're valued, what you can have or can do or cannot have or cannot do. All of those things get associated with your cup, about what kind of factory or whatever your cup was made in, about what table your cup sits on, what household your cup lives in, who is attracted to your cup or wants to use your cup. All of that we take on as value, as self-worth, as what it means about what we're capable of, our successes, our failures, all of that kind of stuff. All of that, let's take a minute now, all of those identities associated with cup and any cultural or societal beliefs about what our cups are valued as, or any of those meanings that are associated with us based on what society or culture associates with that cup, with the appearance of that cup. Let's just make an intention right now, and let's take all of that template, all of that overlay, that cultural overlay, societal overlay, and let's pull it out of the body consciousness. Let's invite that template to pull out of the body consciousness. any of those pieces that you can let go of, that you're ready to let go of, that are not valued in the realm of unconditional love and compassion, where we are more identified with consciousness than with cup. Let's pull that out, pull that template out, and place it into the center of our circle. Let's place it into the center. All of that, letting it come out, letting it come out. Yes, and it's already being carried away. We just call on our source. We call on the angels. We ask for help to release all of that old identity and any of the associated meanings or values, and let all of that be carried away. Let it go. In the name of the one most merciful, ever compassionate, we release all of this identity, the false identity that keeps us locked into beliefs that are limiting the expression of the life force energy, the divine light and unconditional love and peace and compassion that wants to flow through us. We release all of that and let that go. Release it and let it go. The main takeaway from this section on gender identity, gender roles, relationship, parenting, family, children, all of this is to truly know yourself, to truly know yourself, and to honor yourself and be true to yourself. Whether we're talking about gender identity, as we move into this era where we are primarily consciousness and secondarily form, the identity with the body and what the body says we're supposed to be, or how we're supposed to be, or who we're supposed to be, or who we're supposed to love, and who we're able to associate, what we're able to accomplish, any of those things, all of that goes away. As we're moving closer and closer to living as one with our source. God has no gender, and the soul is gender fluid. What becomes most important is that you know yourself, honor yourself, and be true to yourself. When it comes to being in relationship with another, to know yourself and to get to know the other person, to see yourself and know yourself as an expression of your source living through you, however source wants to live through you. You have life force because breath of source is breathing you. When your body dies, your spirit leaves the body, and the body decays, returns to the earth. As long as you have life force, this is breath of spirit breathing through you. You are spirit. To truly know yourself as breath of spirit breathing through you, living through you, experiencing life through you, learning, loving through you, expressing through you, creating through your creativity, loving through your love, being generous and kind and compassionate through your generosity, kindness, and compassion. And you recognize the people and creatures and situations in front of you as also expressions of your source. As you are generous from your source to your source. As you are kind, the kindness is from your source to your source. As you are loving and compassionate, the love and compassion is from your source to your source. The important thing is to truly know yourself. Honor the unique qualities that are placed within you to be expressed in this world, and be true to that. And as you see anything and everything in front of you, ask, show me your face. Ask directly to your source, show me your face in this being that is in front of me, in this situation that is in front of me. Show me your face. Show me your heart. Show me your truth. And you come to honor that and bow to that and respect that. There is, I can't remember which one, in one of the chapters in this section, where it talks about that which attracts you to love is like, it's the discovery of love. I can't remember exactly how it was, but it's the beauty that we see that draws us to love. That's what helps us to discover love and to know love. Those things that perhaps present more challenges, through which we can learn and have to dig a little deeper to uncover the love and find the truth of the love. This is where we truly come to know love. So whether you're discovering the love or coming to know the love in the more challenging ways, it's all the love of your source, living and expressing through you, being reflected to you from everything around you, to find and discover and uncover the love of your source in everything around you. So regardless of your social, cultural templates, of your gender identity or your physical body you're in, or your gender roles, gender-based identities that we have, that there's really been pretty messed up in the world that we've lived in, the gender-based identities. So any of that, social, culturally based, race, class, religion, profession, education level, economic status, any of that, letting go of all of that and aligning with the truth of your soul. And your soul is so much bigger than your physical body, yet your heart center, staying centered in your body and tapped into your heart. This is the portal through which you can really come to know yourself and recognize yourself as that divine being. And that is that's really the first and the most key takeaway of any of this. When you know this, it's, if you remember from the gender identities and the gender roles and the relationship, knowing yourself and seeking to find the face of God in your partner. This is how we find the ones to whom we are attracted and compatible. And so know that, honor that, It is the attraction that draws us together. It is the love that binds us as family. And there are many children who need love and need family. And there's a lot of care and compassion that is needed in this world. As we're moving into this new era, we don't have to be as concerned with propagation of the species, which has been an argument for traditional families. We don't need to be concerned with that because there are a lot of children who do need love. And there will be plenty of there will still be plenty of children born and plenty of opportunity for those who do not have children of their own to care for other children in the world who need homes. So, knowing ourselves, knowing our partners, the attraction draws together, the love binds, and from here we can create the families and care for each other. And okay, looking at my notes again, the very first, I did say 7 key takeaways, just to bring some clarity. The first one was about recognizing as we move closer to living closer to God in the soul experience. We're identifying more with consciousness, less with form, and letting go of our identities. The second one, the second key point, is about the life force in you. Is the divine life energy of Source living through you and expressing through you and loving through you and expressing generosity and kindness and compassion through you to see this in yourself and in the others around you. The third one is to just really let yourself drop into the ocean and be. There is no container that can contain your source, even your expansive soul. So recognize in your body, everyone has feminine energy and masculine energy. And, I actually, as I was meditating on this, got this in a different way. You know how every once in a while things that just go clunk in a different way. And knowing that the feminine energy is that state of being in communion with Source. It's where we go to resource, to be in communion, to refill our cups when our cups feel depleted, but we don't have to wait for our cups to feel depleted. It is the feminine energy is that state of being. And, it's always been said the feminine is the receiving and the masculine is the giving. And as we go into that feminine energy, we like that feminine side of ourselves where we can sit in communion with Source and be. This is the receiving. This is where we receive. We really can allow the cup to be filled to the point of overflowing. So just make an intention now and drop into that feminine side of yourself. It is the state of being. It is the state of just being still, being present, calling on your Source, and ask for help to just rest into that state and be. Be and allow yourself to receive, allow your cup to be filled, and to allow your cup to overflow with whatever it is that your being needs. Let yourself be like that dry sponge in the that's being dropped into the ocean, and let your entire sponge become saturated, absorbing all of the water of the ocean. But there's more water of the ocean, you can't absorb it all. But let your sponge absorb all the way through itself to become completely saturated, satiated with the nourishment of this ocean, the waters of this ocean, and to be filled until your cup overfloweth, your sponge is dripping, and you are the ocean within the cup. Right, as the poet Rumi says, you're not a drop in the ocean, you're the ocean in a drop. Let your drop become full. And let your sponge be dripping, your cup overflow, and allow yourself to be. This is where we absorb the knowledge. This is where we are templated with the divine truths. This is where we are given the revelation. This is where we're given strength. This is where we're given awakening. This is where we're given courage. We're given everything that we need. We're given compassion and the generosity and the kindness and all of those things that we need. We're given the revelation, the creativity, what is it that we need in order to then turn into that masculine, call on that masculine state, take that step through the masculine form to move out into the world. And as we move out into the world, the masculine is that which penetrates the world and is the actor and the protector of the light. So it's protecting that inner state of being, the inner feminine, that place of the temple of communion with Source, as it's moving out into the world in its acts of building, of generosity, of kindness, of compassion, of all of the things that we do in the world. Right? There's that tendency to want to separate the masculine into that. This is the competitive, this is the success seeking, this is the, all of these things, and separating that from the love and the compassion and the generosity and the kindness and, but those things do not have to be separate. Those things that bring us into that relationship where we can be in the world, make our way in the world, care for ourselves and our loved ones, and make the money we need to make and do the things we need to do in order to survive in this world and get through this world, get by in this world. They're not separate. So any of those templates, let's call that template right now, that says, in order to be in my masculine energy, I have to be competitive. I have to, forget about the equality and kindness and generosity and compassion. Those are all, we kind of tend to associate those kindness and compassion with feminine, but it is not separate from the actions we take in the world by any means, by the service, by our, whatever we do to support ourselves. That is not a separate trait. So any of that templating that says feminine is this, masculine is that, let's go ahead and offer those templates into the center of the circle as well. And together let's call on our Source in the name of the one most merciful, ever compassionate. And let's just ask for those to be released and lifted. Right? The feminine is that state of being where we go to commune with Source and refill the cup. The masculine is when we step out of the being and into the doing, the actions, but they are not separate from love, compassion, generosity, kindness, that which really brings us to a state of caring for one another, that helps us to move into a world of equality and compassion and reverence and respect, and really recognizing the divinity in each one of us, in ourselves and in everything that we see around us. Every element of creation is emanating from Source in waves. And the waves of light from Source reflecting on the particles, which are also waves of Source, and reflecting into our eyes, into our ears, into our consciousness, our individual experiences. But everything is connected and everything emanates from the one light of Source. And another thing that was really feeling, as someone who is feminine dominant, there's this, the natural mother caretaker association with that. And I was just really feeling into that, the feminine has that natural ability to fill the cup from being in communion with Source. And it is so necessary as a caretaker, as a parent, to have that cup filled and to be able to care and give from that place, from that full cup. But our world has been so masculine dominated and not in the healthy masculine sense. I kind of don't even want to call that masculine dominated anymore, but the separation, success, the competitive nature as opposed to cooperative nature. Like, I don't even want to call that masculine anymore, because really it's aligned or not aligned, but in that state that we have called masculine, which is unhealthy masculine, not healthy masculine. It's like there's unhealthy feminine and healthy feminine. It's as we have called that masculine, and our world has pulled us into that unhealthy state. Women and men are not spending enough time in that feminine energy, just being with Source and filling the cup. That's why I'm glad you come here on Sundays, because this is a time of being in that state of communion with Source and filling the cup. So again, breathe in that light, that love, that compassion, that kindness, that generosity, any template that your Source wants to fill your being with. Just allow that to come through. Breathe it in. Let it fill your body. Let it fill all the way to the core of you, where your divine life force energy lives. It contains all of the true knowledge of who you are, who you were created to be, the qualities that you're here to live and express in this world. Let that be awakened from within you and enlivened. And let it come into your conscious knowing, your conscious knowledge of yourself. So you're letting your mental body, your emotional body, your higher knowledge body, all of your conscious awareness come into alignment with this truth from within yourself as you sit in this communion with Source and be. Be in the love, receive the love, feel the love. Breathe it into your core. Breathe it all the way into your core. And as you exhale, let yourself drop down and land into your hips. Center your presence into your pelvic bowl, into your center of your pelvic bowl. And let your vertical core be like the stem of a flower that comes up and blossoms through your heart and receives the light and shines the light. So that was the third point, believe it or not. That's your feminine and masculine energy, your state of being, and your state of acts of service in the world, and generosity and kindness, protection, love, compassion, the state of receiving from your connection with Source, the state of giving out into the world. And the fourth thing is about our children. There was a lot in this section about our relationship with children and giving to our children. The children that are being born into the world right now, that are going to be the adults of the future, they're coming in wired with this information that we are having to relearn. They're coming in wired for it. And these times that we're in during this time of transition is bringing up even more challenging times. So our role is to support them as we're in this transition time so that they can stay connected to who they are as best they can, to know themselves as these beings of light and love. We need to relearn for ourselves and then to look deeply within them, to know them, to shower them with love and encouragement, to help them to know themselves and to honor and protect who they are and be true to themselves. Our role is to honor and protect who they are and be true to their true selves. They need this and we need this from them, because this is how we're learning about our future and what we're moving into and how to be in unconditional love. So our children go through really tough times, and we need to never forget that and always be there for them, to support them and let them know we've got their backs, that we're here for them, we're on their side, we're in their camp, we're with them, and we recognize them, we see them. We want to especially see the light in ourselves, witnessing the light in another as we are present with our children, to be their protector, their guide, and to recognize, always be reflecting the light from within them back to them. So like be the mirror for them to see their own light and to get to really feel comfortable in that, to honor that, to protect that, to be true to that within themselves as they grow into these beautiful lights that are guiding our way in this era of light and love and compassion. That is the fourth one. The fifth one is to know that we are all connected, especially the children and parents and family. So the health, the spiritual health, physical health, emotional health, mental health of each and every one of us affects the wellness of the whole. As we are all cells of one body, contained in the womb of our Mother Earth, there is only one. And with the health of any part of the body affects the whole. So there are, as each of us has free will, there are times where there will be things within parts of our body, within our children, within our parents, within our siblings, within our significant others, that we cannot control. And this is how we discover love. As I was saying a minute ago, this is how, we discover love through our love for ourself and all of the others and all of the creatures of the planet and the planet itself and the beauty of nature. We discover love through those things that are easy to love. And then we truly come to know love from that which we cannot control, that bring us our lessons and life challenges. But we are all connected as one body. And so when we have loss, when we have grief, when we feel the pain of our children, when we feel the pain of each other, know that we are all connected. And there is lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of mercy that's available for all of us. So for those things that you can't control, Give yourself lots of mercy. Go into that feminine state and be, and allow yourself to receive, 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 receive. Receive the mercy, receive the love, and be the mercy, be the love. And that's number 6, be the mercy, be the love. Be merciful with yourself. We talked about some kind of heavy hitter topics in this section. We talked about abortion. We talked about divorce. We talked about the grief and loss. All of these, there is so much mercy. And if there is any part of yourself that is grieving for loss, grieving for what you feel like are mistakes, that maybe beat yourself up about having done something you, quote unquote, shouldn't have done, let yourself receive. Receive, receive, receive. Go into that feminine energy, into that state of being, commune with your source, and be. Receive the mercy and allow yourself to fall into the arms of God, to fall into the arms of your beloved. And let yourself rest there and receive. Right? Whether it has to do with any of these topics, how you identify yourself or how you feel that you've been identified by others, your relationship with yourself, your relationship with others, parenting, the struggles we go through with children and with our own spouses in parenting, whether it's loss, abortion, divorce, any of that. We call them the divine name on this one of Al-Ghafur. And Ghafur, if you break it down into its sound codes, the Gha is like that constriction and the places of stuckness inside of ourselves, those places where we're holding ourselves in blame or in wrongdoing or any of those, that feeling of constriction that we hold when we feel like we've made a mistake and we're holding on to it. And that's that Gha. So that calls that forth. And the F sound, in the four, it's the F sound is that which opens it up, and it's like an opening and an excavating that stuckness out of the body, out of the heart, out of the mind, out of the soul, and opening up to embody the radiant light of your source, the Or. So it's releasing the constriction, opening up and excavating that out, and receiving to embody the light of your source, the radiant light. And this is the forgiveness that works on the soul level, because this is really about letting that light shine on the places of not knowing, that maybe you just didn't have the full picture or the understanding before. Let the light shine on those places so your soul can get its soul teachings and integrate the soul lessons from this lifetime so that you can move forward in wholeness and clarity, evolving your consciousness. Ghafur. And then the 7th thing was awakening to the sacredness within you, the sacred connection within you. We use the divine name of Quddus, which is the holy, the sacred. And that's remembering to carve out that sacred space for yourself. And we talked about this divine name when we talked about coming together to commune with your source through sexual intimacy. That our sexual intimacy in the era of peace and unconditional love, where we're living more closely aligned with the living consciousness than with the physical cup. It is a sacred experience. It is a spiritual experience where we come together to commune with Source. It's more of a spiritual communion than the animal natures. It's, or the, I don't know if I even want to call it the animal natures, but the lower impulses of the physical body, or the impulses of the physical, satisfying the physical urges. It's more of a soul-to-soul communion with Source. And it can be this now, if it's not already for you. So it's about really in Kudus, the holy, the sacred, carving out that sacred space for yourself to be in that communion, and then connecting with another from that place through divine intimacy. And we called on the divine name of Wali, which is the loving, protecting, trusted friend. And when you come to see and connect with another from this place, and recognizing them as that divine friend, this is where that divine intimacy is created, and you can come together in that sacred union. So that was the 7th point of that. And I know that, let me just repeat them again so that you can integrate them into your being. And I invite you to just let your template be washed from the old patterning and be reformed with the new information as we move into the era of peace. I know this isn't new for everyone, but we can always receive at deeper layers and allow the transmission to deepen and integrate deeper into our cellular consciousness. So, number 1 was, as we move into the era of peace, we become more closely aligned with consciousness, right? Moving closer to the soul experience, letting go of our identity and definitions that are based on body, gender, or social and cultural identities and expectations, race, class, religion, profession, education, economic status. Any of that is going away as we identify more with consciousness than with cup. The second one, our life force, the life force in you is the divine life force energy of your Source living through you, expressing through you. Know this in yourself and see it in the other that is around you. The third thing was, be in the ocean, in your feminine energy, to receive, commune with Source, receive the love, the compassion, everything that you need in order to fill your cup. And as you move into the world and step into your masculine energy, this is where you come out and transfer that love into the world through your actions, your service, your kindness, your protection, your compassion. And this is that delineation between masculine and feminine, and it's let go of any of the old template that said masculine is about competition and striving and separation and all of that, because that is not masculine. That is unhealthy. The true masculine is, the feminine is about receiving and being in communion with Source. The masculine is about transferring that out into the world. And there, as you can see, there's tremendous overlap there. So let go of pictures of unhealthy feminine, let go of pictures of unhealthy masculine, and be. And remember to come back and fill your cup often. Balance the masculine and feminine from the receiving from Source and giving in the world. The fourth one was, shower this love and this giving onto our children, support them, know who they are, help them to know who they are, and encourage them to know themselves, honor and be true to themselves, protect them and let them know you've got their back. That's the fourth thing. The fifth thing, we're all connected, especially children, parents, family, those of us who come into close relationship with each other. The health of each one of us affects the wellness of the whole. So to help each other to stay in connection and in love and in health, and know that there are some things, everybody has free will, some you can control and some you can't. So through the things that you that are easy to love, we discover love through the love, and then we truly come to know the love in those more challenging times, or the things we can't control. Those are the lessons that we have come here to receive. All of it is here for us to know love. The sixth thing is to be deeply merciful with yourself. Let yourself go into that state of being and receive the mercy, receive the love, receive the compassion. Let yourself fall into the arms of God, whether it's challenges with your own self-identity, with relationship with others, with parenting, loss, abortion, divorce, anything of any nature. Return to that state of being and receive mercy, love, forgiveness, compassion, acceptance, kindness, and let yourself fall into the arms of God and receive. The seventh thing is awakening to the sacredness within you and connecting with others through that divine intimacy, especially in that sacred sexual intimacy, that union where we come together to commune with Source. Those are the 7 key takeaways from this section. I invite you to just rest in that ocean often and receive. Now, just invite you, let's just ground. Take a deep inhale and draw all of your energy. Call all of the parts of yourself into the core of your being to gather with you around the wisdom of your heart. And as you exhale, drop down and land into your pelvic bowl, center at that center of gravity point in the center of your pelvic bowl. And let your heart sit on top of that like a beautiful flower on a stem, the stem of your vertical core. Receiving, opening to the light and receiving the light. And just feel your roots from your hips down through your legs, all the way to your feet, touching into the earth. And let yourself ground into your body and into the earth and be this light, love, compassion, the generosity, the kindness, all of the beautiful qualities that your Source wants to fill you with to be in this world. This is life force energy of your Source, living through you, being through you, expressing through you, living through you, loving through you, learning through you as you move through this world. And with that, I'm going to end this recording and we'll move into the prayers for peace and healing. I thank you very much for being here today. If you're listening to the recording, you're welcome to join us live on Sundays at 10 a.m. U.S. Eastern Time, 7 a.m. U.S. Pacific Time. Find information for joining us live at communityforconsciousliving.com, communityforconsciousliving.com. You can sign up to receive reminders and replays and notifications of special prayer circles and other things that are happening. And you will also receive a downloadable meditation, a 15-minute meditation to help you on a daily basis to connect with the light, the love, the compassion from your Source that lives within you and through you. You'll receive a one sheet as a reminder of who you are, and what this life is about. All right, with that, I end the recording and open for the prayers for peace and healing. Thank you.